GrizzNation with CEO Morry the Grizz Taylor. Talk radio heavy on America and no bull. Forget the politicians. Here's the Grizz.
Good afternoon, Ken. How you doing today?
I'm fine, Morry. This is Ken Walton coming to you live with Morry the Grizz Taylor, the CEO of Titan International. We are happy to be in Palm Beach today aboard Morry's boat, the Sea Bear. You want to tell us anything about this beautiful boat, Morry?
Yeah, it's a good place to stay here while you're in Palm Beach, you see. So it's the Sea Bear. So another guy's got a boat called the Sea Bear, but his is not an American licensed and taxpayer, okay? Great golfer called Jack Nicklaus. Jack's boat's called Sea Bear. It's a little bigger than this one, but this is plenty big enough. So yeah. Anyhow, we're welcome to all of you here. We got a lot to get going. So,
well, Morry, we usually start the show off talking about the current events of the week, but you want to start it off by talking about what didn't happen this week.
Well, there's a lot of things that didn't happen, and number one, we're not creating jobs the way that we're supposed to be creating jobs. And if you've ever noticed that nobody, everybody can talk about, you see the polls, number one thing, the economy. But the problem lies, no one's ever told you how to create jobs. Folks, and I'll get a lot of people who will disagree with this, and that's because they don't have any other answer. The reason we don't have jobs is because we have been giving away our market to cheaper foreign competition instead of protecting good American paying jobs. And that's really the big problem. I mean, sure, you hear the Keystone Pipeline, so that's been passed.
Whether Obama, vetoed, though.
Well, whether he does it or he doesn't, I think it's good for the American public to see that the Democrats are not for the working men and women. They're for just a bunch of friggin' wackos on the liberal side. And, of course, now they got something really going. They cannot talk about terrorist groups.
Oh, they can't give us a definition. I guess the Taliban is not a terrorist group.
Yeah, nobody's a terrorist. They're just criminals,
Armed insurgencies, I think that's what they call them.
Yeah, well, they're having a civil war. Who knows? Okay, who cares? They're just bad dudes. So anyhow, that's what's going on. Give them the number when they can call us.
Give us a call here at GrizzNation at 855-984-7499. That's 855-98-GRIZZ with 2 Z's. And Morry would love to hear from you. We'd love to get your calls. Morry loves his callers and talk to him. And he says he's going to give him one of our mascots one of these days to one of the great callers. So you might keep that in mind. We got the Grizz Bear here sitting between us. But Morry, I heard a lot about the Deflategate, about footballs. I heard about the definition of a terrorist group. I heard about the Greek elections. But I didn't hear anybody saying, we need jobs. And here's how to create.
Well, the reason most of those reporters still have jobs, of course, they're not making the incomes they used to make, but that's, neither here nor there for them. But, politicians, they never want to talk about things they have no answers how to do, okay? And they don't, as we've stated a little bit ago. For hundreds of years, folks, this country worked and lived off of tariffs that it charged foreign companies to come in and participate in our market. Remember, folks, China doesn't have the world's largest market. Everybody wants to play here with us, okay?
And another thing, Morry, I know you harp on a lot, is cutting that corporate tax rate and getting that money back from overseas and getting it back here in the USA.
It is so stupid. They George Bush did this back in the early of his presidency, and he brought back. He charged everybody an extra 5%, but they brought back billions upon billions. Well, folks, we got $2 trillion. All you got to do, and you got to remember, if the company is over in Italy, they've already paid 52% tax. Yeah, 52%. Might be a little lower today, but bring that money back. Bring that money back, and have them invested into America. At least 50% of it, if they wish to, and take the rest of it and pay it off in a dividend. It gets back into our system, and that's what you need.
Well, they say paying a dividend is a bad idea. That just makes the rich richer because they're the only ones that own any stocks and get these dividends.
The whole thing is there's other reasons the rich do better. They do better because their income mainly is from dividends or for carried interest. How do you think this billionaire out in California, it's all these liberal deals, He never paid the big working man's tax. Neither did, and he admits it, Warren Buffett. And then if you check, Warren, hell, he just beat the IRS on the airplane deal. So there's a lot of things there, but let's move on to show you how all this rolls together, folks. The president, the State of the Union, we talked about it last week. He was going to tax the wealthy. He told you he was going to tax the wealthy, and he's going to help the poor and the middle class. Well, one of the programs he was going to tax the hell out of, folks, is the 529 college savings plan. That after you have you put money in there, and that's to pay for the tuition and expenses for your children. Even some of the young who just had young little babies, they were putting a little bit away, but this was always for the middle class.
Absolutely.
Because they were the ones that had a little bit of extra discretion. And now, President, man, that's what his state of it did. He's going to tax the hell out of you. So what happened? Even Nancy Pelosi, she got upset because all those people out in California, especially all those liberal universities, oh my God, we need the money, So, he's backing it. The thing that is crazy, why didn't Republicans just fry him? Just show how much the Democrats really, really are for just taxing the hell out of the middle class. They know that's the only place they can get any real money. They can't get it from the wealthy.
Well, now he's got this embarrassing situation. He's going to send the budget over Monday to Congress, and is going to say, well, ignore that little part over there. And the other part, Morry, I thought was funny, was that he said, okay, we're going to remove that tax increase, but he didn't cut spending to correlate with that.
No, and he never has turned around and talked about what he's going to do on the spending. He's a little bit, even the Grizz here that we got propped up, he fell asleep on that one. But let's just face it. The American public should understand. Anytime you have the government taking money from you and spending it, the thing is, it's the most inefficient means ever devised by man. Okay, it's sickening. And one of the other things though is to look at how sickening the state of New York. They caught Silver, so they finally threw him out as Speaker of the state Senate or state House in New York. How many millions and millions of dollars in graft he's accused of. So, maybe Illinois ought to think the same thing. But the problem in New York It took a federal prosecutor, and because the president is in office, the federal prosecutor's got to be a little bit more touchy about doing something in Illinois. But, folks, Illinois is in bad shape, too.
Well, Morry, we've been talking about the Obama budget, and it ignores the spending limits that they passed a few years ago. It just totally says, we don't need to pay attention to those. We can run up more.
The key word there, Ken, was a few years ago. They don't care. He just wants to spend money, spend money, spend money. So what he's trying to do, he's going to tell everybody, well, I need more money. I need more money for defense. But then he'll steal it from defense and put it someplace else. That federal government's budget is ridiculous, folks. It's totally ridiculous. But he don't know what the hell to do. And the politicians, whether they're senators or our Congress representatives, I don't believe any of them really understand what you got to do.
Well, Morry, I thought we had a change. We got a Republican-controlled Congress now, supposed to be keeping the reins on Obama, but he just seems to get out his pen and write a new executive order every other day. How can the Republicans get control of this country?
Well, first thing, as we talked last week, the budget for 2015 has already been passed. The budget that we're talking about, or you brought up, is number one. That's for 2016 or 17, whichever. And truthfully, they've got to next September. So, what really has to happen is we're going to have a nice conversation. You want to listen to what we got to do? You call into here.
Let me give you that number one more time. That's 855-984-7499 or 855-98-GRIZZ. Give us a call.
And we've got to be able to look at trying to build people that are interested in seeing their government be taken back. And the only way you're going to get it back, folks, I was talking with some people today. How many people do not even realize that the 13 original colonies were incorporated and got their charter back in the 1600s? Man, we don't teach any of our own history, our own thing in school. It's pathetic. But, folks, that's when it did. So, prior to the big 1776, they were around for almost 200 years. So don't think you can't change things. We can change the whole damn thing, folks. And, Europe's not done, but somebody's got to stand up for Europe. Just like we got to have Americans standing up for our rights and what's going here. And I think that, when you look at some of these countries, I give the Greeks credit. Yeah. They joined the EU. The politicians threw them in there. They gave up their currency and they took the euro. But anybody looks at it, what is the EU? That was just a bunch of people who never really wanted to work. They didn't understand the formation of the United States. They really wanted it to be the United States of Europe. But what did they do? The Germans weren't giving up their nationality. Neither were the French. They couldn't get all the EU countries to even go on the same damn currency because some of them were smarter than the other. And the reason being, they got their own printing presses, and that's what's going on.
Well, we're going to be right back to talk more about the Greek elections. Call us at 855-984-7499. This is GrizzNation. Morry, we're going to take a call. We're going to call from Larry.
How you doing, Larry? What's on your mind? You there, Larry?
American people. Yes, I'd like to tell the American people that we have just witnessed a freedom invasion of 145 undocumented people coming across the border. That means if we don't get up off our asses and vote, the undocumented with the driver's licenses and their ID cards are going to take our vote from us. So we got a serious problem in this nation because we are all now couch potatoes and we're watching TV and AVN networks, but we are, you know what I mean, we are laid back and we have to change our way of thinking.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you, Larry, on that at all. But you got to understand, the first thing is what we're trying to do here with this weekly, and we're going to keep pounding it as we go up to elections, is the working men and women, and you're right. They might not be sitting on a couch. They might be out working on a car. They might be doing some sports. They might be doing 1,000 different things. But they're going to have to get involved, and they're going to have to get involved at some time, because it's the only way. When you have 40,000 lobbyists in Washington, I can guarantee you there's very few of them that are there, and they're doing it because they're so much for the cause. They're doing it because they get paid, okay? And that's... well,
Larry was from California. Morry, you were asking where he was from. He's from California, so
California,
he
understands. I'm glad he's not sitting on the beach, because most of those that are sitting and pushing all this, I think, I keep saying from the two coasts, it's the salt water. But Larry's right. We got to turn around. I think everybody appreciates, and we're the great land of the free. And we want people to become Americans and have immigration to this great country. But you got to do it by the law. And you can't do it just by herding them all across the border, the southern border. And you've got a government that's trying to get them over from Mexico. And then, of course, we've got our own group here that are trying the same thing. And Larry's right. Get off your duff, folks. Call us up. Just follow us. We appreciate it, Larry. Just keep hanging in there.
Give us a call at 855-984-7499. Morry, before the break, we were talking about Greece stealing a page from Obama's playbook. And
the whole thing is, the Greeks are basically, they've elected, for those of you who have been sitting around, they basically elected the leftist side, which wants all the government jobs back. So they're bringing the jobs back and having a government. They're not going to sell off businesses that have been privatized. So they're going to blow them up. And, they're just telling the Germans to stick it, basically all of the EU. And they're going to have to drop out. So they're going to drop out. They've probably already dusted off their printing presses. And they're going to print up some, go back to their Greek currency.
So what happens to all this debt that they owe the EU and Germany?
Well, the Greeks have been smart enough to kind of smile. Hell, Europe won't even give arms to Ukraine. You think the Europes, you think the Germans and anybody else over there are going to take a gun and march across their border and arrest people? No. They'll turn around and all of Europe is going to have to tax their citizens, because their citizens are still sitting on their tough too. I mean, they got to wake up over there. I mean, you talk about a bunch of appeasement people. Look at Europe, folks. And, it will blow up again. There's no ands, if, buts about it.
It certainly looks headed for a train wreck. And but, I think there's a message for all of us here, just like they are. We're spending money we don't have, Morry, and they're spending money they don't have.
Well,
when are we going to learn?
that's what happens with all governments, and that's the way it always. We've watched in our lifetime, folks. Russia collapsed in the 90s. They went belly up. They went broke, And the joke is, who gets burnt? All public employees, except the very elite, they get wiped out, and all your pension people get wiped out because the currency doesn't mean squat diddly damn. And there was, like Larry said too, once you start getting soft, folks, you go to hell in a handbasket, okay? And that's why the next item we got that we were going to talk about, we don't negotiate with terrorists.
That's
how many
been the
times have
policy
you
for a long time.
Oh yeah, that's been the policy, and but our policies have all been turned upside down. And, we got 2 more years of President Obama. The only one that is so excited about President Obama is ex-President Carter. He just moved from the worst up a notch, okay? That's really what's happening. Well, what's, President told, because all the professors and liberals, folks, you can't ever vote for these people. They're nuts. They wanted Gizmo closed. They wanted always to bring the terrorists here, for they could probably get a special grant to study them. Well, they've been sitting down in Gizmo. Probably what we should have done is what I've said before. Fill the doggone, put them all in a big barge and haul it out in the middle of the Atlantic and tell them, okay, here's some paddles. Good luck. If Allah be with you. And forget about them. But everybody would have a hemorrhage. We'd have everybody run around. But here, what we really did was we traded to get a deserter back.
You're talking about Bergdahl.
Bergdahl, who left. But he wasn't very smart either, because he ended up, we believe, with the Taliban. And who knows what the hell they did. He's there 5 years. But to turn around all these, we gave 5 known terrorists. It's nuts. It's totally nuts. And they can't even call them that. And then what really makes the difference here is this. And we said this last week when we touched on this. There's an Army general and the White House and all the real lefties and commentator. Well, the military has a procedure. Well, this thing has gone so slow, folks. You know what that means, and so do I. That means they're working on the fix. The fix is in. Now,
what do you mean the fix is in here?
The fix is in to turn around this, our POW guy, which they want to call him prisoner of war, which he went AWOL. So he was a deserter. That's what this troops. But this thing's taken so long, they could have put him on trial, but the fix is in. And what that means is, let me tell you something. If they blow this down, politicians, we all know their oath of office doesn't mean as much as what a military person, which shows in all the polls. But if this general in the military cave in, then by God, somebody in the military should step up and just demand these generals and everybody else, they resign. And then they also take the opportunity to be court-martialed for derelict of their damn duty.
Morry, what does it say to our military men and women that we have a ceremony at the White House saying that we've traded 5 prisoners for this deserter, and then to not charge him with desertion because of political pressure from the White House? What does that say to our hard-working people that are defending our country?
Everybody knows it sucks. But everybody also knows, Ken, we got 2 more years of this. So we got to concentrate on getting other people to get off, like Larry says. Everybody just doesn't want to get involved. I'm glad Larry called us. We got to get more of you to call us. Speak out, because it's the only way. And the more we get, then you know something? Then the politicians will wake their fanny up real good.
We need to get some people to join us here at GrizzNation and give us a call at 855-984-7499 and give us a call and let us know what you think about this situation. I'm appalled that we have political pressure on the Army to not call a deserter a deserter. Tell us how you feel about that.
And then the next thing, everybody, if you watched on the TV, I can't believe they expect us to be this stupid. I mean, really stupid, folks. Obama, over this last week, he's turned around. He's going to veto the Keystone. A couple weeks ago, he wanted to take the Alaska's Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, and he wants to add that in size, which is against.
No drilling there. No drilling.
And then he wants to ban drilling forever. I mean, every Alaskan elected official is against this, but this is what he wants to do. Well, the first thing is he's starting to get some static, So, what is he going to do? What's he going to do? Well, let me tell you, folks. He announced this past week the Interior Department is going to propose allowing drilling on the East Coast.
Now, wait a minute, Morry.
My God, the East Coast. Can you believe that? Here, now, if any of you think that he's going to really do it, no, folks. No.
Give us a call.
This is a scam. This is a scam to get some more votes against the other. Yeah.
We're going to be back in just a few minutes, and we're going to talk about that scam on the American people of drilling off the East Coast of our great country.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
My daughter starts elementary school this year. I'm amazed how fast she's grown. Being ready for school means more than just knowing ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. It's social and emotional development, too. That's why she spent her early years at Primrose Schools. Primrose parents rate their children above 90% in school readiness. With her Primrose Foundation, my baby is ready to succeed. To see what other moms are saying, visit askaprimrosemom.com.
No need to run around anymore searching for auto parts. At PartsMatrix.com, we do all the legwork for you, saving you time and money. And it couldn't be easier. When you send a request using our simple, secure online form, we get right to work searching our network to find OEM parts, aftermarket, refurbished parts and accessories, recycled auto parts, and more. We get back to you in a jiffy with the pricing and shipping options, too. Check out our website, PartsMatrix.com, for all the best parts at the best prices. PartsMatrix.com. Save money, drive happy.
Washington off your shoes, pull up a chair, and dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join the conversation with the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. You got the phone number? Give us a call.
It's
We wanna
855.
bring y'all
Let
in.
me give that number one more time.
One
Roy.
more time. Go, Ken.
855-984-7499. That's 855-98-GRIZZ with two Z's. Give us a call.
We'll get that thing up. It should be on the your screen. And give us a call. In reference to this drilling, before the commercial went off, you see, Obama doesn't want drilling on any government line. Obama wants you to be paying $10 for a gallon of gas. When he tells you that was his policies failed. It was just the entrepreneur of American oil boys that did the cracking. They're the ones who everybody should thank when you see your oil prices down and you got the working men and women got a little extra money. But you see, Obama and the Democrats, they really want $10. They want it like Europe. So what they are trying to do, because you see, so many of the Democrats who aren't wacko liberals and, kind of think it is bad, the American working men and women been getting a little bit of a shaft. So, but they know on the East Coast, they would go absolutely nuts if he allowed that to happen.
So you're saying that's never going to happen, and that's just a phony proposal?
It's just a phony proposal because why? Now they can go back to those same Democrats, those same Democratic senators, and say, hey, if you leave the ranch and you side with the Republicans on Keystone and all this other stuff, then we're going to unleash the drilling on the East Coast.
Oh, so you think there's some political
deals?
That's
all what he's going to do. And, that's, as I've told everybody, I tell you all on East Coast, West Coast, that's where we got the wackos, and it's mainly because of the salt water. So, that's what I believe. There's got to be some
sitting
reason.
in some salt water here. Is it affecting us here today, Morry?
No, because our salt water is all around us. It doesn't blow in with the breeze, okay?
Morry, I want to go back to the Bergdahl situation because we had an email come in from Dan Taylor. Is that a relative of yours? He says y'all may be distant cousins.
Well, we're probably distant cousins, okay?
He says, his quote, he is a combat vet. He says Bergdahl is a traitor. He deserted his post, and he should be hung up by his thumbs. And he claims the general will do whatever Obama wants him to do.
Well, if the general, then that general has violated his oath. That general should be relieved of his command, retired out of service, and actually I'd even think about putting him up because he's not supposed to turn around and be subject to the political pressures of doing something that is contrary to the military code of justice. Now, if the general is saying, well, wait a minute, I got a call from the president, and the president told me I had to do this. Well, General, you got the right to resign. You resign, you make it public. And by God, that's what the military, there's been so many men and women that have given their life. You sure the hell can, get off the political wonder nut.
We got another call. I believe it's call, or is it? No, it's actually a call from James Cherokee in North Carolina. James, are you with us?
You there, James? How you doing, James?
I'm here. I'm just a broken Grizz.
Yep. What do you want to know? What's your question?
Politicians don't know how to create jobs. What the heck do they keep running campaigns promising that they'll create jobs?
Did you hear that? I know exactly what he said, and he's right on point. He says, politicians don't know how to create jobs. Why do they keep campaigning stating that they are going to do it? They are going to create jobs.
because it's such. They're hoping. You got to remember the Obama leader for Obamacare, Professor Gruber from MIT. Okay, well, he said it. We did this because the American public is too stupid. Well, American public's not stupid. There was a lot of union leadership and maybe a bunch of other liberals, but he basically told, and that's what they think, because they're all a bunch of people from intellectuals at college. The only thing they know how to do is to get something from the government, steal it from the government. So they don't know how to create jobs. I've never heard a politician sit down and tell you how to create jobs. I told you right here. You can't just keep trading with China. China turns around. Do you think you're going to sell a lot of steel into China in open market? Hell no. Why do you get all your aluminum wheels now from China? Because it's simple. The cost. They just flood them in. Every car in America's got Chinese aluminum wheels. I mean, if they're only going to work for 60 cents an hour, why? And it costs, and there's no penalty to ship it into this country. All these factories move over there with your technology and everything. It comes here. Now you also do not have all the bureaucrats and all the government bullshit either. The bad thing about is you generally got to have a Chinese partner. So, that's a negative, but they're going to run you out of business anyhow. It's only a matter of time. Look at Europe, look at everything. Because why? Trade's one way, folks. That's why jobs, they haven't created any jobs. You turn around and you've heard these people that, we got 99 weeks of unemployment. But when finally the unemployment run out, people went and got jobs. No, they don't have the jobs they want, but they have jobs. Now, we got to do something about that, but the only way you do it is you do it by you take China. Tell China, hey, we're going to clear everything from China up on an old naval base from World War II in Sidney, Nebraska. You got to drive that stuff up there, and then we'll start looking at it. And we'll think about clearing it. And charge them a duty. That's what you do. You bring the stuff back. And Mexico's just as bad. Do you see how many car plants are going into Mexico?
Absolutely.
And what are you going to pay the Mexicans? $1.50 an hour?
Yeah.
But then you got people, the Republicans and everybody else, the businesses that want to move it down there for they can make more money. They got to start thinking about the working men and women of this country. We got to start thinking of our own. And we are the market. The Europeans, they're too friggin' stupid. All right? Just start and look at the Europeans. Look and see what their unemployment is. See what they got to look ahead. Eventually, they're going to end up with a lot more dead people than you've ever thought of. Because it gets bad. When it gets bad, remember, all the college professors, all the elitists, the ones in New York, they don't sit around. They transfer their money out and they run. And I tell you, people better start. I had a guy today. He's all upset that his grandkids won't know the America that he's lived in. Where he went and his wife came down with his mother in Florida 25 years ago, stayed here, had the jobs, they like it. But his grandkids, it's the jobs you can get and what you can do to make a living, it's not going to happen. It really isn't. And that's
Okay.
what's a shame.
Maury, we got a tweet from Chris on Twitter. Says he's got an interesting take here. He says Republicans only talk tax cuts, but that isn't enough. We need new ideas on both sides of the aisle.
Well, but the first thing, Chris, at least the damn Republicans are talking about tax cuts. And yeah, I agree with you. It'd be nice if the Democrats thought something, but the first thing you got to stop and understand, what controls the government? The Democrats. What controls the Democrats? Let me tell you what controls them. It is the dues coming from, yes, all the public employees are unionized, paying dues. You have the same thing in each and almost all of the states. That was why they went after, the governor in Wisconsin.
Yes.
They went after him, Walker, mercilessly, called him everything. And what did the press say? It was terrible, too, because the media gets into it, too. Now, what happens is we ended up putting, back when Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the father of modern democracy, he even said you can't unionize them. That's why we have civil service. But you leave it to the Kennedys and Johnson, they wanted the money. And that's why they can't negotiate wages, but they negotiate all your work rules. I hope you understand that's why nobody gets fired. That's why the bad keep growing, the bad. And you got to have some president that gets in and does it. I would love to see some bright ideas out of the Democrats. But why don't you look? What are the bright ideas they did? Obamacare, okay?
Oh, yeah, that was a bright idea.
Okay. What are they doing now? They're giving mortgages out with nothing down. In fact, hell, we'll give you money. Yeah. Where's that come from?
If you have an opinion about this, and obviously the Grizz does, give us a call at 855-984-7499.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in GrizzNation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road lobe and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
You're listening to GrizzNation with Morry the Grizz Taylor. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to Join in on Common Sense Talk Radio coming right at you in 3, 2, and 1.
Break here. We had a caller talking about, why we can't get harmony between the Democrats and the Republicans. It's real simple. The interests are totally different, all right? And it's be a lot better when the Republicans start telling the truth. We already know Democrats aren't ever going to tell the truth because you watched the president look at you. You want to keep your doctor? You can keep him. And by the way, how many of the newspapers turn around and tell you the insurance, the average cost for insuring everybody is going to be $50,000? And did they tell you that the insurance companies are making off with it? Did they tell you all this? They cut a deal. It's a little bit like in New York. You want to see why all the congressmen are in Chicago? They cut deals. And they're getting the cash. Who in the hell you think is going to hire their relatives, And listen, we already know it's happened with a few Democrats too. But the best thing you can do is somebody has got to shrink the federal government. You got to shrink it for it will stay smaller. You can't have these bills. In fact, I thought about it the other night. I wanted to talk about this. Wouldn't it be nice if Congress, since they've already appropriated all of his damn money, why don't they just sit there and figure out and spend the next 6 months passing bills to wipe out laws? Okay? You could write a bill, do away with the IRS. Not the whole IRS, but do away with the tax code. And send it to the president. Let's find out if he's got the kudos to stand up and tell American people what he said he would do. It's all terrible. We should do something. Well, let's do it. Let's take care of that. Forget the damn trade things. People he's got, they don't even understand it. We can make jobs for the working men and women in this country. Good paying jobs. And that we should owe it. And we don't owe it by getting them to them free. I said if they want to work. And they can make it. And for the kids that spend all this money into college, you're being suckered, okay? You're not getting trained diddly squat.
You're not saying nobody should go to college, Morry, are
No,
you?
I want people to go to college, but I want them to get a value. You ain't going to get no value for what you're going off. Even doctors get hammered. They all get hammered. You see, universities have been off into never, never love land. For what you need to be able to put in your brain to get the job done, you could get it in half the time, less than half the time. But they rather take you and have you party down. Of course, now, I had to laugh the other day when they're talking these sororities, and they don't want you going to any of these fraternity parties, all banning everything. I mean, come on. Give me a break, girls. So, maybe you girls should get a life, okay? It don't work that way. So, anyhow.
Okay.
Give us a number to call there.
Give us a number at 855. Give us a call at 855-984-7499. And let us know how you feel about these points today. And, Morry, I want to move on to one that's near and dear to you. And President Obama is negotiating again. Now he's negotiating with Cuba. Think we're going to give away the farm there?
Well, the whole thing is, let's get realistic. All of you out there in Grizzland, there's nothing. You hear everybody wanting to go down and see all these old cars. Go to the junkyard, okay? You see some goofy paint jobs and everything else. The damn things are like putting a car body on a friggin' electric golf cart, all right? And it doesn't run all the time. that shows you how bad it is. Folks, they don't have the money. You know, you see them buying Russian cars, you see them buying Chinese cars. If they had the money, they could buy them. The great Castro. And so I think it's great. The Castro brothers are already probably going to take us now. Once Obama pledges, they'll probably go into the UN and into the World Court. And the World Court says, oh, U.S., you were so naughty to them. You should give them billions of dollars in reputation. I got an old people's memory.
I understand. Reparations.
Reparations. Now, he'll probably tell us at a news conference, well, we got to follow what the world wants, and we're going to give them, we're going to take some more money from the wealthy. You know, I love that sign, the wealthy. You ain't getting it from him, all right? So, it's a joke, folks. It's a joke.
Well, he had a long list of demands that he wants. Castro did. He said he wants the Navy base back at Guantanamo.
You know, he wasn't treated right when he was a young man. We went and supported Batista. We supported this, you know. And the next thing is, I love how they say everybody's going to go buy cigars. Well, folks, I smoked cigars since I was 12 years of age, and there's very few humans who ever smoked more cigars than I smoked. I got to quit, and I quit at first of the year. Only reason I quit is my wife was yelling at me. Now, the joke is this. The cigars aren't any good. You find something, find some product made in a total communist country, and it's excellent. If it's being run by commies, you won't find it. You go to China, go to a state-run into business. It won't be very good. And remember, until we showed up in China, they couldn't even send a missile up. Yeah, they couldn't send a missile up. They needed gyros. And guess what? Clinton, big donor, got them their gyros. Yep. You know, and the joke about this, all you guys that are Democrats out there and been in a union, and your dues have gone to pay for the Democrats and all the BS. Think about Gruber, Professor Gruber, the MIT for Obamacare, who said, you're stupid. Hey, all of you in unions, you didn't know it. They pulled a fast one on you. You got golden insurance policies. You're going to have to pay a tax.
You're going to be taxed.
Your union boys, they didn't tell you because you wouldn't have voted for them. You know, that's it. Think about that. And you think about Nancy, how she laughed. Oh, we got to pass the bill before we know what's in it. Yeah, she still doesn't know what's in it. She wouldn't know what's in it 50 years from now. You know? Yeah. But I wonder how it would look her hairdo with 50 more years of plastic surgery. And you people out in California, I gotta ask, how in the hell can you send that woman back as your representative?
She brings home the bacon, Moy.
You got to start thinking about your country, you fools.
Okay, Tom sent us a tweet on Twitter. He wants to know, a good question, why is Obama allowed to lie to the American people and get away with it?
Well, Tom, President Obama is allowed to lie because our media, CBS, which is owned by, actually, I don't know, Viscount, I don't know which one now, if they spun it off or how, but the companies that own CBS, NBC now is Comcast. Yeah, the cable boys bought them. Well, they bought control from GE. And you got ABC, What the hell? They're owned by Walt Disney. And then you got, Turner Broadcasting, which is owned by Warner Brothers. The only thing you can do is when they advertise on them, send a note to all the advertisers, you're not buying anything from them until they quit advertising. Money talks, bullshit walks, okay? So the media lets him, in every newspaper, they let him lie. They don't see anything wrong with it. Why? Because they also agree with Professor Gerber. All of us Americans are stupid. They're the only ones. They tell us to our face. And it's a shame. But I got faith. I got faith that eventually the American people, the working men and women in this country, majority of you, will get fed up, and then you'll keep marching and throwing the suckers out.
Well, Morry, where is the outrage from the American people? What is the average American? Well,
average American person has so many personal things. They don't have the luxury of sitting around and running around. They don't want to join political parties. That's why Obama got elected. He went to the universities, No disrespect to all you youngsters out there, but you fell hook, line, and sinker. And he gave you the shaft. And
well, don't they get it now? I mean,
no, they don't get it now because they really don't want to admit they were suckered. All right, just like they can turn around and have that guy and show it on all the TVs. Gerber, he was the guy got millions of dollars to write up Obamacare, to sit here and tell us all how stupid, and how the president knew it, everybody knew it. They all sit in a room and they just say, how stupid, let's do this, they're stupid. I mean, when you got the Speaker of the House, Nancy, California red lady, tell you, laugh. She's just laughing away at us. They don't know what's in the bill.
Owner of the Made in America store. Together we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proven fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at MadeInAmericaStore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
Do you take Viagra? What if we could promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? Look, at $18 a pill, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for just $3, and it comes with a no questions asked, money-back guarantee. We'll do the math for you. You save more than $15 per pill for the same results. One more, we'll give you 40 blue pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call 1-800-764-6923 and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for Viagra. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering's fast and easy, with your pills delivered to your door in an unmarked package. Call us right now at 1-800-764-6923. That's 1-800-764-6923.
Soon this little baby I'm singing to sleep will start to walk. Before I know it, I'll be dropping her off at school, beaming when she walks up to accept her diploma. or holding back tears as she takes those big steps down the aisle. But before she takes all those steps, she and thousands like her will need you to take yours. Join March for Babies to help make her steps possible. Start your team today at marchforbabies.org.
Hi, I'm Julie Bowen, asking you to walk with me in March for Babies. Too many children in our country are being born prematurely or with birth defects. They have to fight to survive every day, but you can make a difference. Your steps in March for Babies can help them take their first steps. Visit marchforbabies.org to start your team and raise money to ensure that babies are born healthy. Let's walk together for stronger, healthier babies.
This is an important announcement for anyone with a federal student loan. Pay attention. No matter how much you owe or how far behind you are on payments or even in default on your student loan, call First American Student Debt Relief toll-free assistance line right now at 888-796-0571. You can cut your payments in half right away or even more. First American Student Debt Relief will also stop the harassing phone calls, wage garnishments, and even remove tax liens. We can fix your student loan problems today. Get your student loan out of default and reduce your payments. Call First American Student Debt Relief today, 888-796-0571. We've helped countless people just like you fix their student loan problems. Don't go another day with your loans behind or in default. Our specialists are waiting for your call. Call 888-796-0571. 888-796-0571. Call 888-796-0571 today.
Welcome back to GrizzNation with businessman Morry the Grizz Taylor. Think it's bad now? Here's the Grizz to drop some truth in Washington's punch bowl.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, we got a caller when we had to go on this break. Lisa.
Yeah, Lisa, you with us? She was hanging on from West Virginia.
You there, Lisa?
Oh, it's Emily. It's not Lisa.
Oh, hi, Emily.
Hello, Emily, are you from West Virginia?
I'm sorry.
Where are you from,
Yes.
Emily?
Yes. My question for y'all is, what are Obama's energy priorities? And doesn't it seem kind of ridiculous that he supports the drilling off the East Coast, but are banning the drilling in the remote parts of Alaska?
Well, you kind of, Emily, you're pretty smart, but now let's just sit here and think about what he's trying to do. He has no interest, and trust me, all those people in there in his energy department, they're not going to, they would never, ever, while they're there, put out and allow drilling, okay? But you see, the problem is this. Everybody knows the price of fuel's down. Everybody that's in this business knows it's only going to be down for a short period of time. And then it's going to go back up. So what he is trying to do is shoot and say to a lot of the East Coast and a lot of the Democratic senators and congressmen, you don't leave me out on the stick, reference Keystone, and I want to shut down Alaska. Because if you do, then I'm going to let you suffer, because I'm going to keep saying I'm going to do the East Coast. So that's what he's doing there. He's just using that as a ploy. And you know what? If I was the Republicans, I would go right out and say, hey, we got enough friggin' oil between fracking, and let's just take the areas we know, Alaska and every place else, and start drilling there. You know, maybe 50 years from now, we'll think about the East Coast if we haven't. But that's what I would say. And if I was the Republicans, I'd say that's what you should do. But he's interested in just shutting it all down. They want you, Emily, to go buy a bicycle and ride around.
No. They like D. Taylor said in his Twitter, his tweet here. He says, "Don't forget, Obama wanted $5 of gas or higher while he was promoting that Chevy Volt at $45,000 a piece."
Well, yeah, but he's going to
They want us
promote.
all to drive Volts.
Yeah, how many votes have been sold?
Not many.
How many votes? How many electric cars been sold? Folks, it costs too much money. You want to know, last week we talked about all the solar energy, how many jobs have been created, and how much money you're going to have to pay. You know, hey, let's look at it. Remember, we also talked about eggs. You see, you can't eat eggs in California unless the chicken does the egg, drops the egg in California.
You're talking about free range chicken?
They have big, huge cage. Well, what most people don't know is look at the price of milk in California. Why? Because you can only have milk if it comes from a cow that gives milk in California. I mean, when you want to get into it, we've allowed wacko people out there. In fact, listen, this is part. I hope I answered your question, Emily, but anyhow, don't believe he's going to allow drilling. It's a come. Just like he told you could keep your doctor, it's a lie.
Okay, now we're going to
Now we're going to throw out some of my Grizz growl points, okay? Now, do you know, number one, have you heard this? You can turn around, throw out your trash, and you can get a fine. You see, it's not just California. That's why I tell you about the water. You see, if you go out to the West Coast, you know, Seattle, the West Coast of Washington, the West Coast of Oregon, the West Coast of California, that's all on the ocean. That's where that salt breeze is, see? Now you go to the east side of Washington, those are conservative. You go to the east side of Oregon, conservative. You go to the east side of California. It's just that they're more into the farming, so they don't have the population boost. But here, to increase recycling.
You're talking about Seattle now,
Seattle. Right? We're going to get into, boy, you know, our special coffee boys from Seattle. They have made it illegal to throw away any food scraps. Yeah. They want you to go put it out in your yard and bury it. They want it all decomposed. Now, what happens? Or you can put it into special containers on your curbs. Now, you know what's so funny? It's one thing that you're going to have more rats, but you're going to get raccoons. Raccoons, folks, it's not like the little lady on the ad when the raccoon follows her in because she can't see it. She thinks it's a cat. Raccoons are really vicious. They're really vicious, okay? And heaven help you between the coyotes you're going to get and the sweet little bears. Yeah, this is the Grizz. And trust me, you're not going to get a grizzly bear because a grizzly bear, the baddest bear in the whole world. But you're going to get black bears. And black bears weigh more than any of the humans running around out there. And you're going to have some frightened people. And then what's going to happen? They're going to have to shoot them. Yep. You're going to have to shoot them.
So let me get this straight, Mike. So if you got, some food that went bad in the fridge, you left it over, I'm afraid I do that too often, you throw it out in your trash, what happens to me?
You throw it in your trash, you're going to get fined. And number one, that's if you have more than 10% of your trash is old spoiled food.
Okay.
And they're going to put a red, that includes coffee grinds. They're going to put a red sticker on it for your neighbors know, too. Because they're going to go through your trash.
Yeah, no, they're not going to go through your trash.
They're going through your trash, big boy.
So the garbage guys are going through people's trash and determining whether 10% of it.
They're going to get a bonus by doing this, too. So all of you out there in Washington, you're going to create. This is how Democrats create more jobs. The trash pickers, okay?
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more trash men.
We'll probably have to send them down to Mexico City and go out to a couple of their dumps, and they can really show them how to pick out. Or maybe send them to India.
Morry, before we get to number 2, Lisa's been holding a long time here from Glenbrook, New York. Lisa,
hi, Lisa.
You got a question?
Yes, hi. How do the politicians get away with calling them spending limits when we all know they have no serious plan to truly cut spending?
Well, because they know in their own mind that the majority of Americans, when they only spend generally the month of October kind of listening to them, and then they pick, oh, this guy told me this guy told me this, and that's how it gets. If you turn around and you say to yourself, okay, let's pick the Democrats. How many Democratic voters vote what their union tells them they should vote for? And 99% of the time, the union chiefs, their reasoning of telling their membership to vote that way is against their own union members. So that's a fact. Let's go to the Republicans. I mean, it just came out. You have Mitt Romney, who just announced he's not gonna run. Well, the first thing is, I don't believe he was ever going to run the second time anyhow. And the reason being,
third, I believe. I think he won 2 already.
He didn't win the first one. Nomination. And after his wife, and the reason being is, number one, I happen to know the man. He's one of the smartest people I've ever met, and he's probably one of the finest individuals. But he cannot relate to the working men and women of this country. He has no way of understanding it. So I'm happy that he pulled out of it. But, they get away with it, dear, because we allow them to get away with it. You should just call them. Go to their meetings. Bring it out. Get them, Lisa. All right.
In addition to offering up his weekly dose of good old Grizz sense, Morry the Grizz Taylor doubles as CEO of Titan Tire, the world's largest farm tire manufacturer, producers of Goodyear and Titan farm tires. Morry wants all you farmers in GrizzNation to listen up. If you need to get into your field and it's all too wet, call 1-800-USA-BEAR or your Deere or Case IH dealer. Titan Tire is bringing new technology to farmers, and Titan's low sidewall technology means no more power hop or road lobe and less compaction. Say goodbye to the beach balls and same old tires from 20 to 30 years ago. It's time to welcome Goodyear LSW to your fields. Call your dealer or 1-800-USA-BEAR today to find out how you can save money and time this harvest. And tell them the Grizz sent you.
Hi, I'm Mark Andel, owner of the Made in America store. Together we can help grow our economy and create jobs for Americans by buying products made right here in the United States. Visit MadeInAmericaStore.com, featuring thousands of 100% American-made products from all American materials and labor. They are the highest quality products available. We've inspired a Buy American movement that is creating and saving American jobs every day and keeping our money here instead of sending it overseas. So are you tired of lip service? Let our government know what really matters to the American people. Creating jobs matters. Manufacturing matters. Made in America matters. After 4 years in business and countless jobs created through our 400-plus suppliers, we've built a simple working model to strengthen our economy. It's a proving fact. Made in America matters because China is a long drive to work. Shop online at madeinamericastore.com or connect with us on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Grizz Nation.
If you work in Washington, you better duck. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to join GrizzNation. And we're back with Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Welcome back, everybody. But while we're on break, we got a tweet from Jason. And Jason, if you're out there watching or listening, you're correct. His tweet was, Republicans, you got the majorities, both House and Senate, put up or shut up. I agree with you, Jason. It's, stop all this other gushy stuff. Get down to what the people sent you there. Like I said, start repealing laws. Start changing it. Turn around. If they don't know, call me. I'll tell you how to write. No bill, no new legislation should be more than 2 pages. And let's start sticking it out there for people to look at it. Look at the Constitution, folks. How short that is. That's been around for hundreds of years. That covers everything. Number one, they ought to read the damn thing.
We got another tweet. We really appreciate you folks calling in, and please do at 855-984-7499 or send us a tweet. Doug on Twitter says, we've never been able to trust the Castros. Why are we starting now?
Well, I agree with you, Doug. First thing is, Father Time is doing both of them in, okay? So, needless to say, they ain't going to make it very long. So, maybe they just wanted to have a better casket. I have no idea. But what Obama did, folks, you have to understand. He did that because that lets the newspapers have some new action. Everything's going ass backwards for him. Just think about it. Price of oil came down. If you listen, he took credit for it. He did everything he could to stop the damn thing, folks. He didn't do anything for it. So now you got this sitting there, and the Castros, I think they were shocked. They were totally shocked, okay? But, hey, what can you say? They're running around trying to find anything. At the same time he's doing Castro, over in Europe, they're telling you the insurance, as I mentioned earlier, your health insurance is going to cost $50,000 a year. That's what our government's going to pay, okay? They didn't do anything to bring the cost down. They didn't do anything about the drugs. They did not a damn thing about it. Did they touch the malpractice? Hell no. This is letting them have dibs on our treasury, folks. But Doug, who cares? You got another 22 months or whatever it is. You still got them, okay?
Okay,
let's get going anyplace.
Let's get back to the Grizz
Maybe
growl.
we could but he costs so much money to go on vacations, and he just loves it. All right. So number 2. Are 6 million really going to pay a fine for no insurance?
Well, that's what they said this week.
What happened? The IRS has came up and health insurance. You see, if you don't have health insurance, you got to pay a fine.
$95.
95 is the smaller. It can be a higher fine. Now, if you all remember, Obama put that with the IRS. Then he turned around and they appropriated the money to hire 16,000 new IRS agents. And they're already whining they have been lying. I mean, look at what has happened. Just look at it. Now, you watch. Certain things will get a little better because you see, now with both the House and the Senate, IRS people and the government people are going to have to start getting a little bit smarter. If they don't, then they're in deep dodo. Trust me, okay? They're not stupid, but like we said, when it was Jason said, put up or shut up. And that's why I said they should start rejecting and coming up with some of these new laws. But they're going to find them, but they don't know how. They don't know where to go look.
Well, they put so many exemptions on, Morry. They exempted people who have experienced domestic violence. How do you figure out who that is? If you've had the death of a close family member, you're exempted. And if you've had your health insurance canceled, or you've been a victim of a natural disaster, well, you don't have to pay
first thing
the
is,
fine.
Always remember, it ain't worth talking about, Doug, because number one, it's only 6 million. 6 million out of 330 million. You know, the joke is we have a lot of people that were already insured. They're getting shafted. The second thing is more people don't have to buy nothing because they got stuck into Medicare or Medicaid, okay? That's a joke. So the states are going to go bankrupt. You know, the whole thing is a disaster. And besides Obama, because you remember, you want to keep your doctor, you can keep him. He didn't know nothing. And his buddy, Goober, who went all the time to the White House, turned everything, we said American people were stupid. I think our president was in that too. You know what I mean? In fact, I think Nancy was in it too. And for God's sakes, I know Harry was, you know. Did you see Harry? You see Harry on TV? His eye, oh Harry. His band broke, okay? Must have slapped him around. Don't any of you atheists tell me there's not a God. There's a God out there. All right? Think about that. Somebody snapped that man and slapped him around, and it wasn't my Grizz either. All right, let's go to number 3. Who's passing the laws in this country? Now you think about that. In 2014, Congress passed 3,291 laws. No pages. Now that's pages of new laws. 3,000. That's the one and a half health care bill. Obama. That's what they did. The whole thing 2014. It sounds like a lot. The bureaucrats now. These are the people you never voted for. These are the people that nobody seems to be able to fire. This is like the IRS agent who told them all, Stick it. I ain't playing that. I ain't telling you nothing. Okay. Forget that. All the laws she broke. She should probably be in jail. But anyhow, these are the bureaucrats. She's one of them. Well, during the time, they issued 79,066 pages of new updated regulations. How many pages? I told you what, 79,066.
80,000
If you think about that, 20,000 pages would go from this floor up to the ceiling. That's 20. So you're talking basically real close to 28 feet high of pages. These are new regulations. Now, folks, the common American, if you're in business, how in the hell are you supposed to read all these? Because you see, if you haven't read them all, you're in this business, wherever that business is, you ain't read them all, you're guilty. You can't plead ignorance. We had this law, and you didn't do it. You want to know why he can't create jobs? That's why, folks. Think about it. Now we're going to go for another break. But when we get back, give us a call, tweet us. I was going to say write us letters too, but we won't be on that long today, okay? Welcome back, everybody. We've had a few technical difficulties here. I think the Obama administration, we were looking at these 79,000 regulations. They turned a few of their little hackers loose on us, but we're stumbling right through it. We're glad that you're listening. So we've had a few tweets, but you keep them coming, folks. And Ken, give them the number to call.
Give us a call at 855-984-7499.
All right, number 4 on my Grizz growl list. Folks, the worst thing that can happen in any person who is president of the United States, you would think that when they would take a look at food stamps, 1 in 5, 20% of Americans' kids are relying on their food from food stamps. It spiked up to 16 million last year. This is the hardy, robust economy for Obama claiming? Nah. What he's doing, it's a shame. In a state of his message, in 2014, 20% of the kids. When you think about it, it was 1 in 8 or 9 million. We got 16 million. It was 9 million back when he took a few years ago. Now you say, my God, you're talking 5, you're talking actually more than that. You're talking 7 million more kids going into the 7th year of his presidency. Now, I can tell you what, right now, all those kids on those food stamps, they're not eating the food that Michelle Obama wants them to eat. That's just a friggin' fact. But it's something we got to turn around as a nation, and it's wrong. We got to get jobs, folks. Got to get real jobs. And even for our young kids, young adults who are just coming out of college, even though you're all in debt, I feel sorry for you, but,
Morry, what is it? What happens? Do you know of any studies, anything? If a child grows up on welfare, what are the chances of them living their lives on welfare?
Yeah, there's the chances are that they get into the system and they never leave it out. They don't get the jobs. They don't get the pride of a job. They don't get all the things that they should have. That thing has been studied so much, it's got its own industry. And it ain't an industry that we want to see either, folks. So, anyhow, we got to do something about it. Number 5, Border Patrol, Amnesty Consultants.
What do you mean?
Can you believe this stuff? Can you believe what the hell they're trying to do now?
No, the Border Patrol protects the border.
No. They've got to go now and check everybody. Oh, we got you. You came across illegal, but maybe you qualify for amnesty. Now we got to check that out, okay? Now let's ask some questions. Do you like President Obama? President Obama, now do you know the things? If you say yes to that question, then we go to question 2, and we're going to show you all the things you qualify. I know you don't have these things in Mexico, but we have them here. We're going to clothe you. We're going to feed you. Oh, you want to go to the beauty parlor? No problem. We'll have you go there too. But only once a week. You'll have to go the second week and do your toenails. Anyhow.
Well, Morry,
it's
a big change.
It's such a joke. It's a change. It's so stupid, folks. But what are you going to do? Think about it. Now, this I can understand. I can really, really understand the people who had faith. You had a lot of faith in the president back in 2008. I can have a lot of faith of people of a little better tan than I got voting for him. You know, we're all Americans, supposed to be. You know, he won by a large election. You know, they only needed about 50% of the dead in Illinois. So, but that's what happens, okay? But folks, the second time, if you couldn't figure out, then, you know, Gruber's right. You are stupid. I don't give a damn if you got a PhD. I don't give a damn what it is. You're stupid. And you know something? You don't really think much about this country either. Because this country is going to go through a lot of hell. We'll get over it. Now, all of you out there, he's a nice man. He's got a good family. It's just that, look at it. He's an elitist. Time he spent in California, all the universities and everything, got a great smile. He doesn't have a clue. He really doesn't. And look at the people he's appointed. You know, he has poisoned the barrel. So as what was it? Jason said, we've elected a Republican Congress, House and Senate. Then do your friggin' jobs. Don't be worried about what he's going to say. Just start cranking out the laws. If he's got to sit in the office and all he has to do, remember, he don't sign the bill in so long, automatically comes law.
Do you think that's what's going on in this Keystone
So
thing?
you turn around, and what you're going to do, Congress, send them 2-page bills, just 2-page bills, you know? You guys should be pumping them out, 15 a day, rescinding other laws, all right? That'll keep them all going. And that's what you got to do. And, yes, the same thing. We have so many crooks coming in, everything else. They don't give a damn. Hell, why are we worried about borders? That's the way he looks at it. All the terrorists we caught and put in Gizmo, we're turning those loose too. You know? But listen, all of you people, think about it this. American Sniper. Have you read what the jerks on the left? I get tired of listening to them whine. And you know something? If something happens to them, they're the biggest whiners. You know something? And they never help anybody. They're just takers. It's a shame they try to demean. And you know what's worse? What's worse, folks, is the stupid businesses that put them on. I mean, did you hear that guy the other day rattling about Kyle, who now is dead? Kyle's brother stood up. Excuse me. But anyhow, it's bad. It really is bad. They hate this country. So why the hell don't they just go? Well, I would prefer them to go over and just go interview ISIS. Go interview ISIS. Let them go over there and talk to them. And I'll tell you something. If next time you see them, and they're sitting there, and the hooded boy got a knife on their throat, and the guy's crying, I'd just tell him, hey, maybe just before he slices his throat, the back of the executioner's head explodes with a hole through it, because an American sniper just blew the friggin' guy's head off. But you know something? Put a mic in front of the guy and say, what did you think of that guy? You think he would be happy? Or would he, I want to have my throat cut because I think that was terrible what he did. Think about it.
Morry, we've been talking
Second shot gets him.
Morry, we've been talking a lot about elections here. You mentioned that we had one say we're not running this year. We had another one say, Lindsey Graham said he is looking at running. We got a very crowded field on the Republican side.
And you know something, everybody? Romney was a great man, a good man. As I said at the break, we went to break. He would never be able to relate to the working men and women of this country because he'd never been in that situation. And you have to be able to understand and been in it. Now, yes, we have a lot of people, and some of them are really, really good people. And I think it should be a big free-for-all. I think we've had, at this stage, I don't think it's a smart thing for Jeb Bush to even be considering it. I know he wanted it, but, you know, whoever comes in, if this country, either you're going to get more of the same, or you got to elect somebody who's going to cut the federal government. And the president's got to do it. And it's not easy. It's not nice. But you got to do it. You got to do it for all the time out. So hopefully we can turn around, and we're going to, like I tell you, in the next 2 weeks probably, maybe 3 at the most, we're going to also do this simultaneous for an hour on radio. So hopefully as we kick off and get this going, we're going to build enough of base with all of you. So Twitter us, Facebook us, you know, call in. We'll give you the call in. But we're going to try to build a group. And I'll tell you right now, anybody out in Tea Party, you know, just suck in with us. We'll be more than happy to come out and talk to you. Bring some of your people on and talk. But what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the solutions. How to solve the friggin' problem. Not, oh yeah, we got to cut taxes.
Hey, you guys with me? You're back.
We're back.
You go up top.
We've been having some
Oh, you're just being scrambled by the Obama administration. Don't worry about it. Maybe the Chinese. Maybe I got to switch and go beat up on the Japanese or something.
Welcome back to GrizzNation. Not safe for work if you're a bureaucrat. Dial 855-98-GRIZZ to talk with Morry Taylor, the Grizz.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I don't know if you were catching us or you weren't catching us.
We were having some technical problems.
There was technical difficulties, and someone said, okay, we're live, go. So we were just going, and then music jumps in. I guess we're just being hacked, but they shot that hacker and we're back live. That's all I know. And for the next this next segment, while we got time to talk about it, what we're talking about is we need to build a group of you who want to participate so that we can turn around and get big enough so we have a voice to these politicians, not just to listen to them talk to you and tell you just the buzzwords, you know. I know what the buzzwords are, but let's get to what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. If you got Tea Party people here, whatever you want, tune them in, send them in. Let's just, every Saturday, we're going on the radio in probably 3 weeks, and it'll be an hour. We'll start with 2-3 states, and then we'll add some more as we go. And we're trying to get you participate. Whether you tweet us, whether you turn around and send it on a Facebook message, or whether you call us, okay? But we will answer them. And it's you. Always remember, if you let them, politicians do not want the masses to vote. They only want the people to vote that they know will vote for them, whether it's Democrat or Republican. That's why they don't take and make it a long election cycle. That's why they try not to make it easy for you. You know, here, most of you don't know this. I turned around to my employees in the 96 election, and I said, if you go vote, you can get a receipt that you voted. And if you vote, so I know you're voting, you're not to, I ain't telling you who to vote for. I don't care. I just want you to vote. Then you would get that time off with pay.
So you give them like an hour or 2 hours off to go vote?
Whatever it took. They bring it back. What happened, the Federal Election Commission threatened me a $10,000 fine for every person I did it with.
Okay, Morry, you're going to have to explain this.
Now, that's the law, because it's against the law.
What's against the law? Giving your employees time off to go vote?
No. You can't make them bring you back a receipt that they voted.
Oh.
So you can give them time off for the whole day. Government workers get the whole day off, but they don't have to vote. Automotive workers, they don't have to vote.
Oh.
You see, folks, they don't want you to vote. They only want the unions to get the people that they can pick up. You ever see them? They give them cigarettes. They pick them up in Detroit. It's like the certain people who vote, they take them from precinct to precinct, and they know who's dead, and they vote for them. That's Chicago style. Because, and then you got all these other agencies. It's really set up not to have you vote. Well, we got to get strong. We got to get strong. We got to sit there and ask the right questions for them. And by God, if they're not going to do it, throw them out. I'm surprised. And we've had a couple callers from West Virginia. I'm surprised that your senator, your ex-governor, hasn't just told the Democrats to stick it and join the Republicans. I'm surprised he hasn't done that. How can he stay in that stupid Democratic Party? He's a good man. And there's some other Democrats that are good. I don't want the independents from, Vermont. Listen, all you people up in Vermont, you better get real, okay? We cut you guys off, all right? But when you look at this thing, it really is a situation where all of you got to step up. Now, I'm going to try to get some great people from industry in, some real American stories, because I've met in my travels an awful lot of men and women who had nothing, and they got to be very successful. And almost every one of them, they worked a long time before they got their break. A long time. But it does happen. And it only happens here. Okay? The rest of the world is a whole different ballgame. And, it is a shame that since the middle of the 90s, our government, from just pure stupidity, has lowered our middle class and the working men and women of this country. I mean, it just bothers me. So, anything. We got a couple questions. You got any questions on your...
No, we need to get a caller in. We got about 10 more minutes for the show. When it's 855-984-7499. And, Morry, we've resolved our technical difficulties now, and I think we ought to go back and talk a little bit. You said that you were glad that Romney decided. You weren't really in favor of Bush running. You got any You got anybody out there that you like that's talking about it? You got Christie or?
The first thing is, I think everybody should have the right. And I think that going through Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina, I understand those are 3 states that are small states. I understand New York thinks they should. California thinks they should. No, they don't. You don't want to do that. Because those are so heavy, controlled one way. Look at New York. How could you elect that mayor? All right? So, that was the Democrats slid him through. And there was nobody with Cuomo and his boy over at the Speaker of the House there, Silver. Now they've already racked him up with almost $5 million. I mean, that's terrible. But you know what's terrible? There was nobody in the state government. Where are state attorneys? Where were they? Well, they just looked the other way. That's what graft, that's what's bad. That's really, really bad stuff. So it took the feds.
Yeah.
And
we got a tweet. We got another tweet. I think you might like this one.
Tweet.
He says he's responding to one of your Grizz growls. He says he will pay his Obamacare fine, I guess his $95 fine, when Reverend Al Sharpton pays his $4.4 million in back taxes.
Who's tweeted this?
Yeah, this is Montgomery.
Montgomery. That's his name?
Yes.
Montgomery, thanks for the tweet, and you're 100% correct. And do you know, there's so much to talk about in this land of ours, and you forget. He's a race baiter, Sharpton. And how our president could have elevated him. How all this takes place. And you're correct. What's happened behind the scenes? You're right. He hasn't paid him. And they're trying to help him this way. Well, the first thing is, as I said this on other shows, whoever's in charge at Sony Pictures, they should have fired that woman. Maybe even her boss, if he knew that she was calling Al Sharpton.
Yeah, really.
That was just stupidity at the highest. Then forget what their emails said. I don't really care because they were supposed to be personal. But for her to be that stupid to call Al Sharpton. The next thing.
Well, Wayne, hang on. We're going to get to you. We got Wayne holding from Philly.
But the next thing here is that Sharpton, how he ran right down to Missouri?
Oh, yeah.
And when all the facts come out, and the kid was a big thug, a thug. And I don't care what color, how old, how big. You reach in and try to draw a police officer's gun, trust me, you're going to get shot. And it don't matter whether you got light skin, dark skin, purple skin, whatever. All right, go ahead now.
We got Wayne from Philly.
Wayne from Philly, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
I heard this week one of the Taliban 5 was already back at it. And I was wondering, what is the president thinking letting these dangerous terrorists run free?
Well, because the first thing is, your president, my president, he doesn't think they're terrorists. Because if they were terrorists, you'd have to plug them. And he don't want to do that. So, he didn't think they were terrorists. He thinks our military and everybody didn't understand. And it was terrible what they did to incarcerate him. And he's got, his ex-attorney general Holder agreeing with him, and a whole bunch of college folks.
He's still there.
They all agree. So they let him go. And the reason being, they've never served. They never served. They don't have a clue. And that is a real shame. That's why, and one thing I have missed, you see, I believe in national service. You turn 18, everybody. Now, you don't get no deferment. Everybody. 18, you're going in. You're going to have the military run it. You don't have to go into the Army. You're going to go through basic training. But you're going to learn a little bit about your country. And if you're from Arizona, you'll probably go up to training up in North Dakota and Mexico. You go to South Dakota. But I'm going to move you all around. If you're out in Philadelphia, probably going to move you on down to Louisiana.
Well, who's going to pay for all this?
You got to do.
Who's going to pay for it?
It's real simple. We're gonna feed them. We're gonna give them toothbrushes and some little. It's called 18 months of cheap labor.
Oh, so they're going to be working for America.
We're going to build some of the homes for the deal. We're going to work for America. Mm-hmm. Give you 18 months. And if you want to be in the service, you make a little extra when you go in there.
Morry, we were talking earlier about the whole Made in America, and we've just got a few more minutes here. I don't know if you noticed, one of the Super Bowl ads this year again is another company that started. They said, no, we can't have a manufacturing plant here. And I don't know the name, but I think it's the WeatherTech car liners. And they've got another ad. They're spending $4.5 million to have another 30-second ad. And their sole thing is, we're doing it right here. Our people, our goods, we're making it in America.
Oh, there's no question. The problem, everybody has to understand. The companies, it is not your small entrepreneurial companies that pack up and moved out when you gave favored nation to China. It was your big Fortune 500 companies who turn around and they'll shut one whole factory and they'll go and move that sucker to China. And then they'll have scheduled 6 months later another one. It is the General Motors, the Fords, the Chryslers, all the biggies
GE,
who turn around. Oh yeah, GE, and they go running over. And it's like Boeing. They're Chinese. They're going to buy planes. Well, Chinese. Well, we got to make things here, and then pretty soon they're going to make a plane to compete with Boeing. They're going to make a plane to compete with Airbus.
Yeah.
Okay? They're already selling jet fighters. Hell, they've made jet fighters before. They weren't even close. The only ones that ever got close are the Russians. Okay? So, that's the story, and that's the way it is. Now, next week, folks, we want you to, dial in, tweet us, call us. We only got a few seconds before.
Where are we going to be next week, Morry? We follow you around wherever you go. Where are we going to be next week?
We're going to still be in Florida next week. We're going to be down over across the other side of the state, back to Naples.
Oh.
And it's the week after that. I don't know where the hell we're going, but we just take the studios with us, folks. That's what we do. But thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time. Send us some notes during the week and tell us what you think we should talk about. Or some of the items that interest you. Thank you. Goodbye.